All right, co-host.
What up, Corey?
Sorry to get here so late.
Hey, that's all right. You ain't bothering me. Not yet.
Yeah, where you going? Oh, man, how you doing?
I'm doing good, dude. Looking forward to this as usual.
Are you now?
Get to chit-chat.
You usually sound grumpy. You all right tonight,
Get to jibber-jabber.
Get that jibber-jab on.
That's right. That's right.
Oh, man.
These are new times, a new age, Corey.
I know. I'm going to talk about that in a little bit.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, I'm going to get to that. There's a lot of stuff I want to talk about tonight.
Uh-huh. What are we going to talk about?
I want to talk about some stuff that I saw that might appeal to you.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Talk about this new dawning of a new age.
Oh, yeah? Does it have to do with broads?
A way.
Naked broads?
I can make it that. Yeah, if you want
Oh,
to.
yeah?
And, of course, we got the email going on.
Email time. That's
All right. So we're going to go ahead and jump into it, man.
All
So
right,
you ready?
let's do it.
All right. Hey, let's do
do
this. Got you off guard, didn't I?
Ah, you son of a bitch. Trying to trick me.
Oh, man. So what does the robot Khan think of our new president, man?
Well, we got a new president? I thought you were talking about
I was talking about the president of the Batman fan club.
I thought you were talking about my new comic books I just got the other day. It's
No.
Dawning of a New Age. Yeah,
No.
that's the name of the comic, Corey.
No, man. We got a black president, first black
What?
president,
We do?
first black president of the Xbox 360 club. Man.
How did that happen? Did that old white dude, did he have a heart attack? Did he die? What happened?
No, so do you know what I'm talking about? No.
Yeah, Obama!
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 Yeah, man.
Yeah, it's our new king.
Man, I'm telling you,
Chosen one.
I have to say, I'm happy to hear it, man.
I bet you are,
I
Corey. Does this mean you get to run amok and do whatever you want?
Man, let me tell you something. It is crazy how people are taking this now. The world is
Yes.
happy.
Oh, yeah, the entire world.
I mean, 22 countries at least that we know of just crying and
I
going
know.
nuts.
Celebration is
Yeah.
crazy. It's like, damn, who is in charge here? The emperor? What's going on? They tearing down statues?
Yeah, it was make you wonder what who do they think Obama is? They think he's
know.
like the black Superman. He's just gonna fly around the world and solve
Guess so.
problems.
He's
and
the
shit?
Luke Skywalker or something. I don't know of our new age, Corey.
Man, but see, it's
He's
funny.
gonna bring light where there was darkness.
He's gonna bring darkness where there was light.
Exactly.
But so now I don't want to pick on Germany now. I'm just using it as an extreme example here. I mean, 50 years ago, their leading political regime thought black people were animals, and now over there crying out of happiness now because we got a black president. But you know who ain't having it?
Who?
The South here in America.
Nope.
Man.
South, it's funny how quiet the South is about it. They're just
They're scared. That's why.
I know. They kind of looked around with their shifty eyes, those beady eyes, and they walked right back into their sheds.
I know. It's like
and now I don't know what they're doing in that shed.
boarding shit up.
But I'm a little scared, Corey.
Shit, don't be scared. They're like hammering the door shut. That's what they're doing.
Hey, now, when after Obama won, were you nervous as hell as when he came out to give that speech out there in front of all those people? Were you terrified?
No, I was not.
Why? Okay, I was completely terrified. I was like, how come this guy isn't in a bubble right now? How come he isn't in the Pope Mobile driving up?
Okay.
I honestly was scared. When you see all these red lights in the crowd too, I'm like, oh shit, get down, Obama, get down.
I know that
Get
dude
to
said.
the chopper.
And that's how he really talks.
I know. I thought the poor guy was going to be
down.
riddled with bullets. Yeah.
I can let my accent go now.
No, it's like, this is a crazy world.
Be funny if he came out with like fucking a beard, like
Yeah.
like Obama is here. Let the terror begin.
Exactly.
He had a bath towel on his head.
Oh, my
I
God.
like to show my running mate, Osama bin Laden.
We trick you.
It was all part of the plan.
Yeah. Stupid Americans.
A jihad of jihads. They had a bomb strapped to Obama.
Infidels.
Nah, man. No, I think it's cool, man. And
It's incredible, Corey. Let me say that. As a robot, I will say it's great. If there can be a black president, down the road there's going to be a robot
I
president.
know they're gonna have a little remote control car come out.
And then that's when we push the button. Thank you for your vote.
But these fools down there in the South, man, they don't want nothing to do with this shit.
Oh,
I
no,
mean,
no.
I mean, you don't hear about it.
Oh, no, you don't.
But they do little reports. Like I was reading the New York Times today, and they were talking about how these small counties in the South, these motherfuckers are scared. I mean, they ask. There are several people who say, well, now that Obama's president, black people going to be more aggressive.
Oh,
It's
shit.
like aggressive. I mean, and I'm thinking, what do you think is going to happen? Like when he finally, like after his this whole thing where, you know, I mean, what is it? It's like what 77 days or something like that where he has to be before he's actually sworn into office. Do they think like on that day that he's sworn in?
Yeah.
Like,
In
something
January,
like people, like something in people's minds gonna click, and all of a sudden it's gonna be like the beginning of Dawn of the Dead.
Exactly.
You know, neighborhoods gonna be going crazy.
I was about to say all the slaves that were buried in undisclosed places in the South are going to rise up and attack all the white people that had ancestors who were slave owners.
It's the black zombie apocalypse.
Exactly.
It's like, did you see? Like Obama's gonna like when he gets sworn, he's just gonna look at the camera and his eyes gonna glow red. And all of a sudden, people gonna rise from the ground. Black people gonna go crazy. Ah!
Well, if that does happen, Corey, I'm going to be running with a bucket of chicken, throwing them in the other direction. Whoa, whoa.
You know, like in Night of the Living Dead.
Exactly.
Shoot them in the head. They can only be stopped by shooting them in the head. It's like fried chicken.
Fried chicken. Just throw it away from
Throw
you.
them fried chicken.
You know, people. You know, white people are going to be throwing at people they don't like chicken at the they're going to get attacked and eaten. Oh my god. Son of a bitch!
But don't worry about
hated you, Charlie. Oh my god, we ought to make a movie about this.
We should. It's like the zombies, like black zombies bite white people and turn black.
Exactly. There you go.
How did this shit go in
God.
Night of the Living Dead?
They're coming to get you, Barbara.
No, it's like the people they kill come back and kill.
Yeah.
The people they kill turn black.
Yeah.
The black they kill turn black.
Oh, they're black. They're all messed up.
People be like, I'd rather die than be black. Not now. It's a good time. If there's ever a good time to be black, it's today. At least I hope this brother don't screw up though.
Hey, well, come on.
I don't think
how bad can he screw up? I mean,
you can't get any worse than
No,
what we
man,
had. I mean, if we do, we're third world country after that.
no, you got to be a raccoon with a cigar in your mouth to like screw up that bad. I mean, come on,
Man,
This guy at least has a brain. He has a vocabulary. He speaks well.
Yeah,
as much as I
exactly.
hate to say that, the guy speaks well.
Man,
Speaks better than me.
Look, after having Bush, anybody speak.
Exactly.
Like you said, a raccoon can get up. That makes more sense than what that motherfucker was saying.
But
But
gonna push the button.
kaboom! But no, I mean, look. In all seriousness, I gotta say, I talked to my mom that night. And she said, I got my machete. No, she didn't say. She said, I was talking to my mom, and she was just telling me stories about how when she was a kid, how her father couldn't vote, how finally when he could vote, they put a tax on him so that they made it harder for him to vote. I don't know any of this. I have never heard any of this.
I've heard of that. I mean, they wanted to make it as hard as possible.
Yeah,
for black
and
people to
so
vote.
he couldn't even vote for a long time.
Right.
And my mom was telling me how there was a certain street in Waco where blacks were really not allowed to walk down. They had to walk on the side of the street or not walk down there at all. And she was just saying, I thought I'd be dead before I saw this day. I was in the middle of a bar. I just started crying, man.
Oh,
Because my mom started crying. I was crying. I was bawling. It's a lovely day. But,
yeah, well, hey, I can understand for you guys. That's great. It's fantastic.
What do you mean by
actually.
you guys?
You guys. Oh, I'm sorry. The new. I guess the new minority or the new not you guys aren't
People
even
trying to
minority.
figure that-
Yeah,
people trying to figure
nobody's.
that out.
Yeah, I don't know.
You
know.
are.
Are you guys like royalty now?
Yeah, I'm going to start wearing
Is
a
every
crown
black
going down the
person-
street, wearing a crown and a robe.
Yeah, everybody's gonna be walking.
Yeah.
Everybody's gonna be walking with canes and crowns. And,
I'm the new Burger King. But the Burger King is gonna be black now in the commercials.
Yeah, exactly.
But
But I tell you what, though, this is a good sign because yes, as far as the majority is the minority now, and this Obama being president now is the best sign of that.
Well,
and
I'm
just
sorry, go ahead.
no, just of how the way the world is going, whether certain groups of people like it or not.
It's moving on. I mean, people who have those old ideals are really being left behind now.
Well, because Corey, they're getting old and they're dying,
and they're dying.
Yes, and that's the thing. I mean,
this
is people like this is the biggest scream of change when Bush. I mean, you think about Bush and his legacy and how it ends with the world deciding to vote in a black president because this guy just really fucked up that bad.
Exactly. I was thinking,
yes.
Man, those last 8 years were not for nothing.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. And as far as Republicans are concerned, I mean, obviously, I've talked to a lot of Republicans who just believe that once Obama is sworn in, it's the coming of the apocalypse.
Are you serious?
Oh, yeah. Oh, are you kidding me? Have you not? Oh, dude, I've heard from a few Republicans that, they're like, I'm telling you, as soon as he's in, that's it. It's over. I mean, the economy's already screwed up as it is, but they're thinking he's gonna bring the gates of hell are gonna open up, and we're all gonna fall in. And I'm just like, give me a break, dude. No, your Lord and Master, the time being Mr. Bush. He's the one who's been doing.
Who
that.
are you talking to online that is still behind Bush?
No, are you kidding? Are you kidding me? There's a lot of people, Corey, and
still behind
and
Bush.
Apparently, they still have a voice online, but. I mean, it is crazy because a lot of people are still wanting to blame Clinton for the last 8 years. I mean, apparently Clinton had this master plan to where we would all go to hell in a handbasket right after he left, which I still don't get. I mean, that's as far as like just hardcore Republicans, that's their one card to go to, and it's kind of sad when you hear it.
Anybody who plays. Damn, what the hell is that? A little buzz on there. I don't know if it was my phone or what. But anybody who plays the partisan side too hard, if you're too much of a Democrat, too much of a Republican, you're too much of a liberal or conservative, you're not looking at things clearly.
No.
And I mean, just look at issues, really. I mean, and there's no denying that we had a fuck-up president, a lame duck. My ass, that was a fucked-up president. Yeah. And I've heard people say, he was the one that inherited a lot of Clinton's problems. He's getting blamed for it. I'm like, okay, so he inherited the Iraq War.
Yeah.
He inherited going and looking for weapons that weren't there. He inherited Hurricane Katrina.
Exactly.
We inherited this bad economy that came from an administration that didn't keep track over people, the people who head up banks and big business. I mean, he inherited all that shit. Okay, that makes perfect sense to me.
After 8 years,
use your brain, man.
After 8 years, it's still Clinton's fault. Damn it.
Yeah, get the fuck out of it. But I mean, the thing is, it's just people need to look at the bigger issue here. There was one guy in the South who said, I mean, now this makes absolute no sense, but I'm trying to argue with a logic here.
Yeah,
illogical people. There's a guy that said. In this article I read, he said, if anybody who looks at this election and doesn't feel upset about it needs to go to the altar on Sunday. And I'm thinking, so in your logic, you're saying that God didn't want us to elect a black president because he shouldn't try to stop it.
No. Oh, no. I mean, give me a break. I mean, the fact is that people were desperate not to have a Republican. I mean, I think it's just – I think overall, too, a lot of people just did not want another goddamn Republican in the office, period.
That's
Republicans had their time, and they fucked it up royally. And it's time to, hey, let somebody else at least try. Let's see what happens with somebody else.
Yeah,
all right, in your chair, because obviously you can't drive worth the shit. So I'm gonna let my mother-in-law or whatever drive in your place,
Man, if we had brought out
I hate to call Democrats mother-in-laws, but
that
it's kind of how I'd like to sum them up. But
in your mind,
yes,
if they have
people you sort of like sometimes, but you just wish they had a little bit of more punch, like the Republicans, like really like say what they mean what they say, and just do it.
Well, now, I think that's what's going to kind of happen. I mean, I was looking at these debates, and I don't care what you say. A lot of people, that's why I'm not too fond of debates, because people will read into it so much by saying, "Oh, my side won." No matter what. And now I'm going to play fair here and say I watched the debates, And I was never going in and saying, I'm going to give credit where credit is due. Like that whole thing where people came out saying, well, Palin didn't do that bad against Biden. No, she did shitty.
Yeah,
okay,
yeah. No,
she didn't answer
terrible.
any questions. She came out with theatrics, winking at the camera. Oh, can I call you Joe? You know, get the fuck out of here with that. This is what is this, a high school debate? No, it's honestly, a fucking vice presidential debate.
You're right, and I'll go on the record and say, Palin really screwed up as far as.
Well, she didn't screw up. They screwed up choosing her.
Well, they screwed up choosing her, but I mean, you're in front of cameras. You should do some research before you open up your mouth.
Yeah.
I mean, you should be prepared for certain things. I mean, they do. That's the funny thing about her. It's like you could tell, obviously, that they had stuff prepared for her to say whenever she needed to speak. But when people caught her off guard and started asking her questions just out of the blue, she had nothing to say. I mean, she
right.
looked like a deer in headlights.
And
it's like, you know what, McCain's he's no spring chicken. And that's the only. I'm sure that's what a lot of people.
In fact,
thought.
if they had a spring chicken up there, I'd probably be like, I'll vote for that motherfucker.
I mean, it looked like the guy was. He looked like he was a marionette. Like somebody was obviously working his controls, and in the back, the Oz was working him by remote
I'm
control.
the all-powerful
and that scares. When I see somebody who can barely lift their arms, I'm like, okay, that guy ain't gonna last like 20 days in office.
You know something? I like McCain, and I'm not gonna get into like all the policies that I don't like about him, but I said, hey, if he gets elected, I'm going to give it a chance. But
anybody.
When even when he said I have Palin, I was like, this guy. And look, man, this guy's been through a lot of shit.
Right.
He ain't all dummy about picking this woman who I've never heard of. Yeah. She must be a badass bitch, boy. Yeah. And then the moment I heard her talk, I was like,
she
oh,
opened
my
her mouth.
Lord, what
just
the
like
fuck?
all broads, as soon as she starts opening her mouth, oh, God.
Well, look, people, I don't want to get, what you say, quiet, get that cane out, yank about her neck.
Hey, just read what we give you, all right?
I mean, I don't call you a puppet for no reason.
No.
But I didn't want to get so deep into politics. I just wanted people to know, like, listen, it's a glorious day that we have a black president, and I'm going to tell you why. Don't look at it just as being good for black people. What do you want? I mean, this guy that said, my question to these people in the South, what do you want? Do you want people to be oppressed to the point where they are aggressive and angry, and they're always going to have to be breathing down your neck for something? Or do you want this country, this world to perceive us as being fair and living up to our ideals of democracy so that everybody feels like they have a chance? Because I can tell you, there's 1 million black kids now whose self-esteem just went up a little bit higher.
Oh, yeah.
There's there's billions of people around the world who looked at us and said, these guys are not hypocrites. And you know what? They took that first step. We're probably going to take that first step, too, towards being fair people. I mean, this is just a big thing for humanity.
Oh, yeah. And I agree. I mean, as much as I could care less about you and your humanity, since I will be destroying it soon, it is a great time. It's great. It's a great time to be alive. And those who participated in electing, just being a part of the election process, I mean, yeah, you were a big part of history. And I think every one of us, people listening, can always remember what exactly they were doing on election day. I mean, because it's a huge part of history now.
It's an amazing part.
And it may not feel like it, but you're a part of it.
Yeah,
everyone who voted, and it is great. You know, it blew me away just realizing that America now has a black president. The biggest thing that blew me away was just how much the entire world pretty much rejoiced over the fact that Obama was now the president, and it makes me wonder what they thought of our country and of our former president.
Yeah, I mean, the way they think about foreign policies,
so much that just as far as like seeing people around the world crying.
I mean, look at places that you never would. Italy, like I said, Germany, the UK. I mean, Japan. I mean, people that you never would. The places that you hear about, like they don't like black people over there. Shit, not that night.
Yeah, but you know, the funny thing is, like any hardcore like Republican and I'm not talking about the Republicans who actually use their brain. I'm talking about the ones that usually.
Are you talking about anybody that blindly follows anything?
Exactly, blindly follows and allows themselves to be spoon fed. And
same go for Democrats too.
Yeah, I mean, look at the videos of people around the world rejoicing just the fact that we have a new president that is not a Republican and obviously somebody that they feel like they can believe in. I mean, yeah, he may not be the greatest president coming up, and I'm not going to say that, but something touched people really down deep in order for them to rejoice like that.
Worldwide.
Exactly, worldwide. And it makes you wonder just, around the world how people look at our president right now and what exactly we're doing as far as our interaction with the world. I mean, it really makes you think, God, Lee, what the hell have we been doing? To have people have a reaction like that.
Well, yeah. Well, look, nobody wants to be a second-class citizen. Mm-hmm. Everybody wants to work towards some sort of unity, so that we don't have to like give in to our instincts of tribalism. Mm-hmm. I mean, we're not animals,
right?
We need to stop behaving like animals.
That's
true.
And
this is a big step towards realizing that yes, if we actually grasp that we are creatures of reason, mm-hmm. we can work together,
right? Exactly,
no matter what.
And I tell you what, if Obama was Chinese, I'd still feel the same way.
Well, first Chinese president.
Yes,
if it was a first
Chinese,
anything,
but Chinese American, Corey, Chinese American.
Sorry. As you said, the first Eskimo.
That's right,
Eskimo president.
The next, I want you guys to have an Eskimo president. So
the next one, and you want him to wear a furry coat and hood when he comes up,
and eating a Klondike bar. I want it all, Corey. I want it all. That just means it's easier for us to conquer you. That's all.
I'm surprised you're not into divide and conquer. I'm surprised you didn't come up here saying, "Black, he's gonna mess up. You guys better watch yourselves."
That's.
Just making our job. It's making your job harder, man.
I would never say that. Yeah. I'll keep my black jokes to myself.
Yeah, like you've been doing in the past.
Exactly.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Just like throwing chicken
at black zombies.
Black zombies. Yes.
Hey, look, if you're a Republican, I got Republican friends out there too.
No, I have Republicans.
We're not trying to be divisive. We're not one of those people who like sit up here. We're not extreme liberals who are like, you dumb Republicans. I mean, every party has a tendency to go a little bit extreme. But in this case, so anyway.
Democrats have no balls sometimes. Hey, that's a fact. I'm sorry.
It is.
And Republicans do. And Republican is a Republican, I always think, is the principal of your school, and Democrats are usually the vice principal. They're the ones who kind of want to get involved. It's like, I don't want to be looked at as
those kids are fighting.
I don't want to be looked at as the jerk. That's his job.
You want me to break that up? Those kids are big. Not so hard.
Not so hard.
So anyway, man.
Anyway, had fun with that.
All right. Yeah. There you
Hail
go.
Obama.
Yeah.
King Obama.
King of the world. Obama. No, that's not gonna happen.
Let's hope not, Corey.
No, everybody's gonna be happy. Work together.
We hope so. Yes.
Now, I just got back from New York. I told you.
Mm-hmm.
Saw a couple of movies.
What'd you see?
I've been interested to talk to you about one of them because one of them you like a lot.
Tell me.
Well, the first one I'm gonna tell you about. Mm-hmm. I finally saw this thing that's been I don't know if it's a cult classic yet. People have been saying it's an instant cult classic.
Uh-huh.
I don't know if that's true or not, but I broke down and went to go see Repo, the Genetic Opera.
All right, and okay, that's the one. Paris Hilton's in this, right?
It's the one that's directed by the guy that did Saw 2, 3, and 4, I believe.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
The play already existed. It was written by some other people.
Okay.
And I don't have the names right now.
Because all I know, I mean, the only person that I've heard talking about this film is Paris Hilton. She's apparently the only one who's doing the promotion.
She's been doing the talk shows, and she's a terrible interview.
Oh, no, she is. Are you kidding me? Yeah, no, she's brain dead. Hey, I'd bang her. I'd bang her to the end of time overhead, but
she's fine as hell though.
It'd be one of those angry bangs, but
well, you just like you banging over her head. Yeah. You don't mean boing, boing, you don't mean bang as in heaven. So you mean like jumping on her head.
Yeah,
bang,
jumping on her
bang.
Bing, bing, bing. Quit talking about Carl's Jr.
But man,
that sex tape wasn't that good.
No, man, that tape was lousy.
Stop looking at the camera.
That tape was a horror show. That tape looked like Quarantine.
Yeah, that was a real repo madness.
That tape looked like Wreck. That movie REC, like the end of Wreck.
That was the most boring version of Wreck you'll ever see.
But man, look, that movie. It's for people who don't already know. It's a gothic horror opera musical. Almost comedy in a way.
Yeah.
And
is it in the vein of like
Rocky
Horror Picture Show? Because it seems like that's what people are trying to turn.
I saw it as a combination between two things: Sweeney Todd and Rocky Horror.
Oh, okay.
Now, the people have been talking about how this is one of the worst movies of the year. It's a terrible movie.
Okay.
As bad as it gets. I am thoroughly convinced that people went in wanting to hate this movie because they saw Paris Hilton with her no interview giving ass walking around on TV shows talking about this movie. It's easy to walk in and say, I'm ready to hate this just based on Paris Hilton alone. But Paris Hilton is not in the movie that much to even be bad. I saw Paris Hilton in House of Wax. Didn't think she was terrible. She wasn't.
No, she wasn't great. She was just there, like the other cast. You see it, and then it's gone. You forget about it.
She didn't stand out from anybody else,
exactly.
and she wasn't terrible. In this movie, she's not bad, but she's under a ton of makeup, and she doesn't even look like herself sometimes. And
that's a good thing.
She's not in the movie that much.
Yeah.
So the other thing is that it's not terrible.
It's not. So you liked it.
No, I did not.
I
didn't really like it. I admire it for trying something different.
Right.
I mean, that movie had balls for trying to do what they did, just being a musical alone. But it's some people were complaining about how they go overboard with the gothic imagery and whatnot. I thought the art imagery in this was kind of cool. It was kind of campy in a way, and they meant for it to be that way.
Right.
So it was all right, man. But the music in something like that, if you're gonna make a musical, make a musical. You can't have people just talking in song.
Oh, so that's what it is?
Yeah, it's one of those things where go to your room.
Yeah.
I will.
Nobody took the time to learn how to sing.
Take your medicine. I have already. I mean, it'd be like if I went.
Chop off her head. I will chop off her head.
So you remember when I was in the kitchen a little while ago while you were getting ready and everything?
Yeah.
When you warming up, I plugged in. You saw me in the kitchen. It would be like me if I was in the kitchen yelling out to you out there. I've got 2 slices of bread, some turkey, the cheese.
Like, what the hell? What the hell are you smoking over there?
Like, just make that shit, eat it, and shut up. You don't need to sing that shit. So in this movie, the songs are really bad. There's a couple of scenes in there. They even have Joan Jett. You remember Joan Jett from the Joan Jett and Blackhearts? The girl in this movie who plays one of the central girls in here named Shiloh is Alexis. I think her name is Alexis Vega. She's the little girl from Spy Kids.
Oh yeah.
She's grown up now. Looks just like Lindsay Lohan if she had a breast reduction in black hair.
Oh, are you serious?
Yeah, wow. Seriously. There's a couple of scenes in there where she's singing, and it's okay.
Did she get naked?
No,
damn it.
I know.
Nudity at
somebody
all?
told me she was 20. I was like, there is. You get there
really?
is, but it's usually when people getting stabbed.
Well, hey, there's nothing wrong with that.
But people who are into this movie, man, I mean, get over it. All right. I mean,
well, it seems like already there's like an internet buzz of people who already are like just dying to see it. I mean, there's a lot of anticipation as far as what I've read on the internet. People who are like dying for the next Rocky Horror Picture Show, I guess, and others who just hate the entire concept of it and just don't want anything to do with it and want it to fail. But
it seems I'm going to meet the midway. I actually. Look, we don't give star ratings here, but if I was to give a star rating, I'd say 2 stars.
Right.
Because it's just, I mean, it is for an audience out there.
Is the music catchy? I mean,
no, music's terrible.
And and that's the one thing the Rocky Horror. I mean, you say what you want about the Rocky Horror Picture Show. At least there's a few songs in there that they're easily recognizable. I mean, see, like the Time Warp.
There's no that's it right there. There's no equivalent of let's do the Time Warp again, and there's no equivalent of Meatloaf coming out and you enjoying Meatloaf because he is being campy. This seems like these guys are they know that it's not for everybody, but they're taking it even too serious. Then
okay.
So it's just it's.
Well, I'll have to wait and see. I will be seeing this just to see what the big hoopla is about.
No, it's not as terrible as people try to make it out to be. And if people go in there with a bias against Paris Hilton, then just don't watch it. Just don't say anything about it. I like to be fair. I don't think the movie's that good, but
all right,
whatever. So anyway, the other movie that I saw I want to talk to you about is Let the Right One In.
Yes, incredible film. What did you think, Corey?
Okay, when I came out,
I'll say I love that film. That's actually one of my top 3 films of this year. As far as that, to me, is an Oscar-worthy film.
Okay, when I first came out of it, I said, "God damn that co-host! That was, it was okay, but I didn't like it all that much. I don't think it was great. But that movie is haunting, man.
Yeah,
I came out of it. And I'm looking it up right now because I don't know anything about this movie except from what I saw. Now, is this a Swedish film or is it a Russian film?
It's a Swedish film.
Swedish film. Okay.
Yeah.
The reason why I was asking people like, you don't know, how can you confuse Sweden with Russia? And well, in the movie they mentioned something about a dead body being found in some Russian block somewhere, and I was like, well, I thought this was a Swedish film, and so anyway, well, look, so the movie's about a girl, and I'm not talking to you. I know you know what it's
Right.
about. The movie's about a little girl who moves next door with some mysterious older guy, and they're boarding up the walls and everything. So it becomes very obvious that she's a vampire, and she moves next door to our central character, this little kid named Oscar, who's about 12 years old, kind of a nerdy geek who's getting picked on by some other
Right.
kids at school.
He's constantly getting
so
bullied.
yeah, and he's lonely, and these two make friends, and you know what you know about her, you're thinking, well, this can only lead to bad things.
Right.
And there's so much subtlety to this movie that there's a lot that they just do not lay out for you. You have to figure out relationships, how do people relate to each other, what's going to continue on after this movie's done,
Right.
what seeds have been planted that will either be good or bad. And actually, I don't want to say anything. I don't think the movie was meant to end like this, but I found the ending of the movie actually very frightening because of what they left me to think about.
Oh yeah.
So after thinking about that, I was like, damn, that was a really good movie, man.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you know what? As far as a film like that, the one aspect that I love about it is the relationship between the two kids. As far as just kids who are definitely outsiders in their own right, and finding each other and coming to grips with exactly who they are and what they are, and seeing how that balances out, see how that works out.
Yeah. Well, they didn't try to hold back either. I mean, we're talking about kids.
Oh,
and
no, yeah.
we see
There's some pretty
put them
violent
in,
scenes, yeah.
Well, there's violence, and they put them in some nothing too graphic, nothing
Right.
extreme.
Right.
But they put them in some very adult, potentially sexual situations.
Right.
Even complete with nudity and everything, and so it's.
But but I will say even that it was done tasteful. It wasn't really. There was no part in that movie I felt.
It's actually based on a book too.
Yeah, it is based off a book, right?
So yeah, I did not. Yeah, I'm looking at it right here. It's described as a Swedish romantic horror film, and based off the book of the same novel. Yeah, so it's. I have to say, man, I walked away. It's one of those movies where it's still feeding you
right
after you're away from it,
and that's what I loved about it. I mean, I loved it while I was watching it from beginning to end. As far as a genre type film, it's definitely one of the most original genre films in years. I mean, honestly, as far as the idea of throwing two kids in a situation like that, especially having one who's a vampire, and I do love how they do show you the everything you always thought about the mythology of the vampire. It's still very much there, but it's cleverly shown as far as what would happen if a vampire walked into your apartment without being invited.
Things they never address
like
in vampire lore.
Yeah,
because we never know what happens.
Yeah.
Like, well, because a vampire standing at your door, and it's like, I can't come in unless I'm invited. And it's like, well, what if you walk in? What's going to happen? They might explode or something as they walk in the house.
And that's what I thought was real smart about it, because even though that's not the point of the story, really, it's cool that they show those little things from every once in a while, because sometimes you'll forget. Oh, she's a vampire. She's a monster.
I think and really that's what you have to come to grips with as you watch it, because I thought there was one scene in there where it was extreme, but then I had to remember this is a person who for years, maybe centuries, has never had to mature past a certain age,
right,
and therefore keeps that viciousness of a child who doesn't know any better. And when I thought about that, I was like, you know what? That makes sense in the context of this character and the context of a true horror movie. We're not supposed to be sensitive to children's safety and within their well-being. In a true horror film, anything goes.
Yes.
So, yeah, man, I thought it was a pretty brilliant movie.
Yeah, I love the acting too. I thought the two kids were brilliant in that film as far as just their interaction and I was really taken back by it. So
I think it just depressed me because because of the cinematography and the setting.
Oh yeah,
it's snow drenched and it's gray.
Yeah, they create a fantastic mood, a real creepy mood throughout the entire film. The cinematography is incredible. The directing is great. But it's funny because if you were to take away all the supernatural elements, I mean, it would seem like just a nice kind of romantic film dealing with two kids that are, like I said, outsiders finding each other. It's like people finding each other in the oddest situations.
Yeah.
And I thought that's what I love as far as that movie, because it's a movie that has heart. Even though it's a horror film, it had a lot of heart, and it was very original as far as the story was.
Yeah,
it was showing. Yeah.
It was it was. I would say if I had one complaint, and even I can. If I want to explain my mind around this, I can. I thought they introduced one of the bullies too late in the movie. Just kind of came out of nowhere. I thought his actions were a little bit extreme without really explaining it. I mean, who knows? But maybe he was just trying to be. Maybe he was just trying to scare the kid. But I thought without having explained to me, I thought it was a little bit extreme. But hey, that's a small complaint.
Well, yeah. But yeah, I mean, I strongly recommend. I know it's playing in some cities right now, but I strongly recommend everyone go see this film. I wanted to actually write a blog about it, but I couldn't. Yeah, during Halloween, as far as if you're going to go see any horror film,
go see Repo.
Go see that one. Yeah. Go see Saw. No,
but
no, it's a great film. Yeah, go definitely go look for it. You'll be doing yourself a favor. So.
Yeah. So, anyway, hey, you want to get into some email right now?
Yes, let's do some email.
We forgot to plug you in and charge you up today. I cannot find your cord, so you said you're going to tap out around, about the next 20 minutes or something.
But hey, we'll jump in. Let's do this.
All right, let's go ahead. Yeah,
let's do this.
that was.
I can't say that anymore without having to yell it out. It's kind of.
I know it's like that's why we
annoying.
named the show because of you and because of you were so used to saying it. Now
I know it. I can't even say it like I remember last week I was like, yeah, let's do this, and I'm like, let's do this.
And no, it's like, and now for a very relaxed, let's do this.
Yeah.
Let's do this now.
Let's do this. People.
Okay, so, let's see here. Renegade was nice enough to put up a group for us where people can submit their questions. I haven't been going there in a while, so
That's
I said
right.
he reminded me today, and I said, you know what, I'm going to go there now that I've gone over some email in my own account. So let's go ahead and read this first one. And I'm looking at it right now. All I see is Barack Obama in there. So if we've already answered this, we'll move on.
Oh, no. Yeah.
Andrew Hayden Phillips. I've talked to Andrew before. He's a British guy. He's very serious talking, but he talks about things that nerds talk about.
Oh, yeah?
I mean, he's talking about he's like you're at the UN talking to a foreign diplomat or something. Now, I'd like to talk to you about Pokemon if you have time.
Sounds like that dude Hex. Have you heard that guy talk?
No, Hex is more like,
Hello. This is Hex. How are you?
Hello.
Hello. I'm down here.
Feeling chipper today.
I've shaved the fur off my feet today.
So, Andrew Hayden Phillips says, let's talk about Thundercats. Now, he says, now that the world has noticed Barack Obama has become the first African-American president of your country, will good and evil in media like cartoons be? I guess good media is a place that makes political cartoons and whatnot.
Okay.
Be affected and could perhaps put more African-American like characters on shows like they did with Static Shock. Okay. I'm going to try to make sense out of this question because you do bring up a good point. I don't know if I'm answering his question directly.
Yeah.
But I guess caricature artists now and political humorists, I wonder if they're thinking, how do I go about handling a black president? Because if I do a caricature of him, if people get mad if I make his lips too big?
No. No. Artists do not change their style for anyone. I don't care, a black artist or a black person or what. No, it's not going to happen. I mean, it's funny because everyone's like, now that we have a black president, does that mean we're going to have to eat chicken every day? Or we're going to have to get watermelon and it has to be eaten every Sunday?
A staple of everyone's diet.
Are we going to have great drink in the water fountains now?
That's like the four food groups. Like the chart has changed.
Yes.
The four food groups are chicken, ribs, grape soda, and watermelon.
We all going to have black preachers. Are we all Baptists now?
I think honestly, that's a good thing to wonder if I mean, people who did all the political things, like if somebody has something that notices that Barack Obama has done something they don't like, and they want to make some sort of humor about it, or maybe maybe it's not even something they don't like, something they got criticized for. I think, okay, how do I go about satirizing this guy without going back to making this guy look like something off of a racist Bugs Bunny cartoon or something?
I see what you're saying.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if people are thinking that way, but I can see if they are.
I think some people are, like I said. I mean, they think, we have a black president. We're going to have a black president, and everything is going to change.
Yeah, it's like...
There's gonna be, does this mean Yo MTV Raps is coming back?
Does that mean, do I get like 80 channels of BET?
Exactly.
But, so, I mean, you're going to see political cartoonists, like, they just going to say, fuck it. They're just going to, like, Photoshop his picture on the cartoon.
Exactly.
No, I don't know. I don't think.
No.
I don't think people are smart enough in this country. We're all pretty. Here in America, you see now people making fun of black people and knowing how to go about it. Like I said, there's a line that you can hit if you don't cross, and everybody knows better than crossing. Just with anything.
And it's just, I mean,
and if it has
we have like Reverend Al Sharpton that people make caricatures.
Yeah,
of.
I mean,
Jesse Jackson. Nobody's drawing fat lips and all, whatever,
exactly.
whatever you want to say.
We know what to touch and what not to touch.
Yeah,
just like with the. What did they have on the Sarah Silverman show?
Yeah,
she did something so funny, man. She's like, why I like black people, like I like Jewish people or something like that. I'm trying to think of some of the jokes that she said. It was very funny. She said, why blacks are like Jews. And I think one of them was like, that's what it was. How black men are like my Jewish mother. And she's like, they both like to wear loud, colorful jumpsuits. You know what I mean? And so it was things like that I was laughing. I mean, nobody felt bad about that.
No.
And I think we were already reaching a stage now where, look, black people are beginning to be more noticed in different roles and in parts of media that we didn't see them before. Right. Will Smith, I mean, for God's sake, that guy's like, he's called like the $70 billion man now or something.
Is he?
So, yeah, he's like one of the biggest stars in Hollywood. I mean, I still think there is, and make jokes. I'm not arguing to have sex with white women or anything like that. I still think there's a hurdle where people are going to have to like get over interracial things, like seeing like interracial romances on TV. I mean, it's just, and I'm not even talking about between black and white. I'm talking about between everybody, but but it's more or less people have to get used to seeing white women with all kind of different colors of man.
Hey, those white women, they're dirty.
Exactly. I'm saying they're gonna do it anyway.
Yeah. They're doing animals.
You nasty white women, you.
I know. And if you've been on the internet for more than 10 hours, you've seen it all. So. God knows I have.
I think, but that's the biggest thing. I think interracial relationships are going to have to, of all kinds, are going to have to be re-examined on TV. And that's one of the biggest hurdles we have to get through.
Well, so, I don't think. I don't think the president's going to have anything to do with our television. I think not
at all.
Yeah.
What do you think? Barack Obama's going to run the cable company now?
So, that's exactly it. So no, as far as like, I still think we're still going to see a lot of issues that some things just don't go away because the population is still filled with a lot of ignorance.
And racism is not gone. I mean, that's
gone.
the thing.
Don't think just because we're going to have a black president, everything.
Black people are still a minority. I mean, we make jokes like, "Who's the new minority?" Black people are still in the big scheme of things. So the social minorities. I mean, I think even
now the Mexicans, those are the ones that everyone's ignoring right now. Those are the people who will conquer.
Man, they are booming.
So you should be,
They're the fastest growing population right now. I
think that the next guy that's going to end up going to be our president is going
to be probably Hispanic.
Yeah, it's going to be George Lopez. Yeah. George Lopez will be our next president. I guarantee it. So, get ready for that.
And Lucy.
Hey, you remember when we had the black president? I remember.
Hey, man. I'm doing everything but a Mexican. Like Ricky Ricardo, I think he was Cuban.
He was Cuban.
Yeah. Hey, Lucy. People, Mexicans are mad right now.
There's a Mexican outside who wants to sell us oranges.
So anyway, I think before Barack Obama came in, the images of all kind of people were improving. In the media. If you want to know the truth, is that it was the Asian man that I think who probably needed to come up.
Oh yeah, definitely.
They were the ones who were the invisible minorities.
Oh yeah,
there.
yeah.
So
and they're the ones making all the cool shit. So.
Exactly, other ones making the robots and shit.
Yeah.
Who you think Bill
exactly.
co-hosts?
Who you think my goddamn father.
Yeah, we went and had
Son of a
hydraulics
bitch.
put on him in Mexico, but he was made by Japanese guys. So.
Japanese father left me, Corey.
Fujikako or something like
Didn't even give me a kiss goodbye.
He want to get rid of your ass as quickly as he could.
Son of a bitch. I'll find you, Dad, wherever you are.
Okay, here's a good question from MDU.
MDU. All right.
I don't know if that's a girl or guy. I've been to their profile before. I'm so sorry, sir, ma'am. But they
Whatever
they
you
say,
are.
what do you guys think of Inglourious Bastards? You know what that is?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. The remake of.
I've never been
Inglourious
that big a
Basterds.
fan of QT, but the cast he's getting is killer. Brad Pitt, B.J. Novak, Mike Myers, Eli Roth. He said, well, that's crap, except for Pitt.
Eli Roth.
yeah, I
What,
know.
he's
Why
an
we-
actor now? What?
Yeah, what? Anyway, I'm going to, boy, here's a real question. I
Uh-huh.
thought that was a question before,
Yeah.
but she goes on to say, anyway, my question is this going to be a movie that is going to have a wide audience, or has QT tapped into a niche that will only appeal to a handful of folks like the Grindhouse flicks or even the Kill Bill movies? Look, I think he's got a big enough name now where
Right.
if he gets a big enough cast, good names, people will come and see it.
Yeah.
Your problem with Grindhouse is that we've said this over and over again. Don't know how many times we can
Right.
say it ain't different. 3-hour fucking horror movie that was kind of purposely a niche film,
Right.
released on Easter weekend.
Yeah. Bad timing. Bad everything.
Yeah,
No need for any movie like that to be 3 hours.
no, not at all, man.
Yes. And I don't care who you are. Nobody's going to be sitting in the theater for 3 hours to watch some blood and guts get splattered across the screen.
An intentionally made
Yes,
bad movie.
exactly,
Okay,
yeah.
you're gonna get that one. You're gonna get that small percentage of an audience. All the film geeks and
Yeah.
all the fans of Quentin Tarantino, and they're gonna say, "Oh, I can't wait to see this movie. Here's the clever thing he's doing." Everybody else gonna be like, "What the fuck is this shit?"
Exactly. No, people were complaining. I mean, I've heard stories. I'm sure you've heard stories of
Yeah.
the regular Joe who could care two shits about Robert Rodriguez or Quentin Tarantino. They walked out the theater going, "Hey, your film's all fucked up. I just paid $8 to watch a fucked up film. What the
all
hell's
scratchy."
going on here?"
They're like, "Sir, that's done on purpose."
Yeah.
What?
What is this, a porno theater? What's
Yeah,
going on here?
shit.
What kind of quality? What kind of quality entertainment are you
Shit.
trying to throw
Exactly.
at me?
You mean
call
I
this
left my
quality?
Yeah, exactly. I left my high definition TV
I
to come pay to watch some shit that looks bad on purpose.
I got X-Files now. That is a show that looks like that's a tour de force compared to this.
People go, "I can watch fucking Xbox
I know.
at home and watch some better shit than
Exactly.
this."
I just paid $8
To watch some scratched up shit.
to watch some bullshit.
Yeah, no, that's your problem. I mean, when you go
Yeah.
off and try to do little gimmicks like that only appeal to film geeks,
Yeah.
what do you think is going to happen?
Exactly. Yes.
But I think I'm reading Inglourious Bastards right now.
Mm-hmm.
It's really hard to tell.
It is. I mean, I
How-
think this is.
have
the-
you read
this-
it at all or
no,
anything?
What, as far as
script for
the
it.
script? No, I have not read the script. I mean, I've seen the original film,
But it has nothing to do with what he's
does
doing.
it?
No. Tell me
Really?
about
It does?
tell me about the original film.
Well, the original film is about these prisoners who were, I guess, they were in the military, and they were arrested for doing whatever. You don't really know their crimes or what they did before, but they're arrested, and they're basically being shipped off to a prison, I believe. I hadn't seen this movie in years, but yeah, they get shipped off to a different prison, and eventually they get attacked by Nazis. So basically, the trucks that they're in get attacked, so they're free. So they're in enemy territory though, so they're trying to get across, I guess, to the Allies. Just to escape, I believe. Now, I could be getting this all wrong.
Okay, well, look,
but yeah,
there's nothing remotely.
yeah.
what I'm reading right now.
Are you serious?
No,
okay,
it
yeah.
has-
It's just about a bunch of guys who basically trapped behind enemy lines.
This is not a
and they're
remake.
trying to get the hell out. Yeah.
Okay, I believe. I read so much shit. I don't know what's real anymore with this, but I do believe I heard Quentin Tarantino say, "Yeah, I like that movie, but it's not the movie. I just like the name, so I'm just gonna
what?
take the name."
Well, I tell you what, the whole point of that movie was these guys basically they end up taking out their own guys and not knowing it, and they realized that there was a group that were undercover trying to
Now, did you
take
just
out
ruin the
try-
whole twist of the movie?
No,
Okay.
not really. Well, there's something that there was a mission that they were set on. The criminals realized that they just fucked up, so they try to redeem themselves by pulling off the mission.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, look, this movie right here.
It has nothing to do with that.
No, none of that.
Okay,
no,
then I don't
no.
know what
This
he's
is
doing. Yeah.
no. I'm reading the script right now, and I mean, there's a whole section. Okay, I was just talking about appealing to film geeks. And how you did maybe doing something that appeals to a special niche.
Yeah.
There is one section in this movie, and for people who don't want to know, I haven't finished reading the script, and if the script is, let's say providing I have the right script, right? I'm not reading some shit that just threw out there that has nothing to do with this movie. There's a whole section in there. And this is a hoax. That's very elaborate. I mean, but there's a whole section in there that is centered on a French girl who. I'm sorry, a Jewish girl who's hiding out in France and is passing herself off as a French film theater owner. And she decides to get revenge on the Nazis by doing something I won't say. But that's a whole section of the movie, and it's her. I don't know if she's talking. I don't know if this whole part is going to be. I think I'm reading the script. I think they said it's going to be in black and white, maybe.
What?
It's going to be filmed in a way that kind of is reminiscent of movies from that period. She might even be talking French through that whole part. I'm not sure on that. Please don't quote me on this. Yeah. But none of this, I'm not sure.
Well, that sounds like a horrible idea. Yeah, because the film I saw had nothing to do with that. But
no, it's not the same. No, and Brad Pitt is playing some guy who's sort of a hillbilly, and there's another guy who likes beating Nazis over the heads with bats and shit. Yeah, it's hard to tell, man.
Yeah.
You can't really tell what's going to happen with this movie until you actually see it filmed.
Wow. Okay. Well, it's funny because I was assuming he's just going to take that old film and just do his Quentin Tarantino thing with it, but. Yeah, this sounds like something completely different.
I will say this: I've always admired Quentin Tarantino, even something like Grindhouse. I've always admired Quentin Tarantino, Robert, anybody who tries to do something different. Just like I was saying with Repo, if you're trying to be different and you think and you're doing this because you're doing it out of creativity, out of admiration for something
right? Yeah,
you're not doing it just to go out there and make money or make a quick buck. I mean, I admire that. So I already admire the direction the script is going. Will it work or will it appeal to a large audience? It really is hard to tell.
Yeah, I mean, and I think this is going to be the movie that kind of puts it to the test, whether if he does still have like a huge fan base as far as just the general public, having to see a Tarantino film or the niche audience that he's kind of created with Kill Bill and Grindhouse.
Yeah.
We'll wait and see. I mean, even though, Brad Pitt is attached to it, so that name alone will bring people in.
That's what I'm saying. It will.
Yeah, but I guess you'll have to wait and see after like the first week to see how it holds up. That's the true test. I mean, the opening weekend, I'm sure.
I mean, people went to go see.
It's going to be huge. Yeah,
they went to go see Burn After Reading just based on the strength of George Clooney and Brad Pitt, and I don't think that was truly a mainstream movie either. So who knows, man? We'll see. I mean, right now what I'm reading is it's kept me interested, and I do want to find out where it's going.
Yeah. Well, that's too bad because the original film. It was a great concept. I mean, just the idea of it was just outlaws. Realizing they screwed up, take it upon themselves to right some wrongs, basically, and try to be good guys. But even though they're all bastards, they're inglorious bastards. Yeah, they try to pull off this whole plan, fighting the Nazis, and it was a cool movie. It's been a while since I've seen it, but I definitely go rent the original one. It's awesome. I mean, watching it, I can understand why Tarantino would want to remake it, but apparently,
it ain't no remake.
What you're telling me, it doesn't seem to be that way.
All right, so let's see here. This comes from first of all, look, your light is blinking.
Yes, I know. So.
I mean, I guess we
no. Well, read one more. No, that's all right. We'll be fine. Read one more for the people, Corey, before I shut down.
Okay. I would like to hear your thoughts on the genre of comedy. My question is a two-parter here.
Two-parter.
I know, you picked the wrong one.
Oh, damn it,
You wanted to read one more. Okay. All right. First of all, in particular, did you laugh so hard that your eyes watered and your sides hurt? You shot milk through your nose. Is that a question? What the? Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't read the first part. First of all, what movie in particular did you laugh so hard that your eyes watered, your sides hurt, milk shot your nose, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera? And secondly, what type of comedy do you prefer? Comedy I prefer is funny.
Yes. Anything funny.
Yeah,
Please.
I have no preference of any type of comedy as long as it is funny.
As long as it's not made by the people who do Epic Movie and all that bullshit, I will not have any of that.
But for example, right when I think I'm not going to be into something, somebody makes a comedy in that particular category that I find funny. Teen sex comedy, I thought nobody's really making anything that's jumping out at me. Superbad I liked, but I wasn't crazy about. But then I saw Sex Drive, and I laughed my ass off in that movie, man.
I love Sex Drive, and it's a shame that movie came and went, but that was one hell of a funny movie, and I love Superbad. I have to admit, I laughed a lot harder at Superbad, but maybe that's just me.
No, I mean everybody did. I didn't hate that movie. Yeah, I did not hate it at all. I laughed too.
What's your favorite comedy that you can always watch over and over again and never gets old?
Oh man, see you gonna make me give a trite answer. What you? I'll
say Blazing Saddles.
Blazing Saddles is one. Airplane is another. I'm naming stuff that people already know. That's what I'm trying to avoid. Right. I mean, but then
I'm sure people want to know coming from you.
Well,
so we all have our answers, the same answers probably. But yeah,
see, I like things that are unintentional comedies too, are weird stuff.
Right.
Like, look, if you're gonna ask me what my favorite comedy is that I can watch over and over again, Human Tornado.
There you go. No,
that's the one that I watch over. I can put that movie on any day and laugh my ass off.
I can put Billy Madison. That's a movie that I avoided for the longest time. And then somebody was like, you got to watch this movie before I kill you. And I was like, all right. And I saw it, and I never laughed so hard in my life. I mean, that movie, that's still like my favorite Adam Sandler film of all time.
Yeah.
I wish he'd go back to those films. But yeah, Blazing Saddles, Billy Madison. I'm sure there's I love comedies like Shaun of the Dead and Hot Fuzz.
See, we can go on and on.
We can go on and on, yeah.
But for me, if you really want me to laugh at something, comedy is like hard to me. Mm-hmm. The least you try to explain something, sometimes the more absurd it is, the funnier it is to me. Just like in horror, if the least you explain something and leave it up to me to figure it out, it's going to probably frighten me more.
Yeah, I think you and I too. I noticed something about things that we laugh at. I noticed like sometimes we'll laugh at like shit in the background of a film. Exactly. Like we'll see like in with the last what was Disaster movie. There's a scene like where people are running around like screaming their brains off, but you see this one old black guy just walking with a cane, just like walking. He's just there walking. It's like I know he's acting. I mean, that guy is acting. I mean, he's playing the old man. Even though he is an old man, he is really playing the old man. He's just walking. Man, I was laughing. We were both laughing our asses off.
And see, the funny thing is that we weren't even laughing at the movie.
Exactly.
We're talking about how terrible that movie is, but we're laughing at shit in the background.
Yeah, exactly.
And you're right. It's those kind of things that, like even in Sex Drive. Do you remember when we were looking at that one guy in the background before we made fun? That guy was looking at that dude getting shot down.
Yeah, a guy gets completely shot down at this party
by this girl.
And there's some creepy looking motherfucker in the background. He just turns around and looks at the guy and he gives him this creepy smile and he's looking through the whole scene that sucks
too.
To be you, dude. Yeah, and he's just looking at him, and we started laughing our ass off because he just had this insane laugh. I mean, it was an insane smile. That's what it was. It was a real creepy, dirty smile,
and it's as funny as hell.
Yeah,
man.
It is.
But see, you hit on a point because you talk about stuff that's in the background of places, things that aren't explained. Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
There you go.
It's always this crazy shit going on in that movie. The biker scene, like when they're all like dancing to Tequila, you can look at the bikers as extras and how they're dancing crazy and shit. And it's like, I remember looking at that and just laughing at them.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, and you're right.
Pee-wee's so absurd that it's funny, man. You don't need to explain. Why is this guy riding around on a grown man wearing a tight suit? He's flooding, wearing a red bow tie, riding a bike. There's no explanation for it.
And like there's characters that you never see in the movie. Like there's a character, and I'll always remember his name. As much as I forget sometimes about characters that are like the main characters of movies. Amazing Larry and Pee-wee's Big Adventure. He's the guy during the meeting where he's talking during the meeting. He's like, "Is there something you can share with the rest of us, Amazing Larry?" And Amazing Larry has like this weird mohawk. He's an old guy with a weird and a crazy looking suit. He turns around and looks at it like with big old eyes, like,
yeah, they don't explain any of this shit. It's just crazy.
Yeah.
And I mean, there's movies that just, you want to talk about things that just don't make any sense, but you can laugh at. Corn Dog Man.
Oh yeah, Corn Dog Man. Now that is a hidden gem. That people go look for Corn Dog Man. Look that up and watch it, please.
Yeah, and it's I can say the ending is what really removes people. I mean, it's what scares people. The way it really takes them out of the film. They walk away saying, "I hated that movie because of the ending." But if you watch that whole thing, it gets monotonous for some people too. But I was laughing my ass off, man.
And I'll tell you another thing, Corey. The greatest film of all time as far as comedies is concerned, the greatest one I always tell people to watch is
Co-host. God damn it.